Procrastination is ruining your life. The reason why you feel like you've been living the same day over and over and over again is because you're not doing the things that you really want to do. In fact, even I used to be a big procrastinator, especially when it came to doing big things that would change the trajectory of my life. In fact, even before starting this channel, I procrastinated for 6 months, and after making a big ass announcement on September of 2025, I procrastinated again for three more months, which I really regret because I love it so much now. I love making these videos. I have so much fun while making these videos. And I started to wonder, why did I not do this thing before? Why did I procrastinate for so long when I love it so much right now? And after countless hours of research on websites, on podcasts, and so many other things, books, etc., I finally understand why I procrastinated, and I want to teach you the same thing so that you don't fall into the same trap which I did. Now, before we jump into the video, I would like to quickly introduce myself. My name is Binit, and my mission with this channel is to become a jacked nerd and to help you become one while I am on this journey. And to do this, to complete my mission, I would be sharing experiences from the things that I've learned throughout the years through self-education and by doing some side quests. Procrastination is an act of putting off work, and especially undesirable work that needs to get done, knowing that the work will cause even more discomfort in the coming future. Oftentimes, procrastination comes in small ways, like putting off doing the dishes or washing the clothes as the clothes pile up by the door, knowing that you will face more challenge washing all of those clothes in one go in the future. But sometimes the procrastination also comes in different way, like leaving a job, starting a new business, or even starting a YouTube channel. The underlying psychology behind procrastination is that your drive to delay is irrationally stronger than your drive to act. Drive to delay is how much a person is pushed to put off a work in the present moment. Drive to act is how much a person is pushed to act in the present moment. This reminds me of that one quote by Benjamin Franklin that said something like this: "Don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today." I often find myself repeating this quote. Oftentimes, I am motivated to do the tasks right now instead of putting off for the morning, which will be eventually more harder and more rushed. The reason why you even clicked on this video was because procrastination has in some way impacted your current life. You might cope with procrastination by saying that I work well under pressure. Now, don't get me wrong, if you are coping with it, it's okay as well, because I am a big coper as well. But I don't know if coper is even a word, but what I mean by that is putting off things until the very last moment would often always lead to a decrease in the quality of the output or the work that you are doing. Would I have gotten better grades if I started sooner? Would I have more money in my bank account if I started my business sooner? Such questions will eventually lead to symptoms of stress, anxiety, depression. There are many reasons why we procrastinate. Most of the times it is caused due to some of the reasons that I will not be focusing on, and which I will just read it out to you, such as low energy, fear of failure, lack of motivation, underlying behaviors such as rebellion against an authority figure, perfectionism, mental health problems such as depression, OCD, ADSD, etc. The reason why I don't want to focus on those reasons is because they are context dependent and they need a longer time frame to solve it. And to be honest, I have no expertise or experience in those areas. There are three main reasons that I want to focus on in this video. The first one is the fear of turning out to be average. The major reason why you might be procrastinating on doing the things that you really want to do is because you have this unconscious fear that you are going to suck at the thing that you have already romanticized in your head. And it is a little bit difficult, but very, very simple. I don't know if that is kind of ironic. And to overcome this, you need to realize a simple fact that as a beginner, you are going to fail or even be worst at it, or quote unquote suck at the things that you want to do. And it is a mindset problem which is quite difficult yet very simple to break. And one of the books that might help you with this is Mindset by Carol S. Dweck, where she talks about fixed mindsets and growth mindsets and how they impact your life. The present bias or the instant gratification bias. Another reason why you might be procrastinating might be because of the instant gratification bias, where you are reaching out for things that give you quick dopamine hits and instant gratification instead of things that give you delayed gratification. For example, you are gooning or doom scrolling instead of studying that will give you better grades in the long run. One way to counter this habit is by making the instant gratification habits harder to do. For example, you can put your phone out of reach before you're doing the hard things. Another main reason why you might be procrastinating might be because of analysis paralysis. What is analysis paralysis? Analysis paralysis is a situation where you have too many options with too much perceived risk. I used to suffer from this so much in the past. Because what do you mean I could be a writer, a poet, an YouTuber, an artist, a songwriter, and have to stick with just one thing? But I am coming to terms with the fact that I cannot be everything all at once. So for this year, I've set the goal for just sticking out with one thing, and that is YouTube. The reason why I'm doing this is because it helps me to understand if I really want this thing for myself or for external validation, and I can do deep work and get the most out of the work that I do by not having to constantly switch between activities. Every problem has its own set of solutions, and procrastination also does. Now, the solutions that I will be providing will only work in certain situations and it might not be applicable to you, but my advice would be to try all of them out and see what works for you. Make a to-do list, but don't just make a normal to-do list. What I do, or what I've built a framework for myself, is make an infinite to-do list. That is, you keep adding things and you keep cutting them out, which gives you a false perception that you have accomplished so much more than you actually have. Break down the tasks. Most of the times when you feel overwhelmed by a big activity, just break down the tasks into simple manageable forms to help you achieve them in a very sustainable way. Eliminate distractions. Reward yourself, because Pavlov, if you know, you know. Complete things as soon as you can, because procrastination gets stronger the longer you wait. Build a routine to make the habits automatic. Set specific and realistic goals. 5-second rule, which is you count backwards from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you just do the thing regardless if you want to do the thing or not. This tricks your brain and it gets stronger over time, the way you act. Eat the frog in the morning. I'm sure you have heard of this one before, where you do the hardest thing in the morning to build that momentum of doing things. Make tasks more enjoyable. You can play music both with lyrics or without lyrics, which are just instrumentals. If you can focus with music, trial and error, which is one of the most important things on the list, and which is why I've kept it on the last, because you have to try new things and see what works for you. Moving on to a science-based solution, which I gained from this podcast by Dr. Andrew Huberman, who is an amazing, phenomenal guy, one of my biggest inspirations as well. Go check him out if you are into psychology and science-based stuff. Now, this solution is one of those solutions which you try when you become aware that you are procrastinating. The science-based solution is to put yourself in even more difficult situations than you are trying to avoid. The things that I'm about to explain will be kind of difficult because of my ability to explain and not because of your ability to understand. But hear me out anyways, because the reason why I told you to put yourself in even more difficult situations is because of a scientific term called dopamine. What is dopamine? Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, or simply a messenger which is related to motor activities, reward mechanisms, and modulation of emotional and affective states, and so on. Dopamine trough is a situation where your dopamine level is lower than your normal baseline level, which causes low energy, low motivation, and reduced satisfaction. When you're in that demotivated stage, you can do two things. One, you can try to wait it out, which will take you longer to get back on track in your studies, in your work life, etc. Or two, you can put yourself in even more difficult situations. When you do an even harder thing than you were supposed to do, your dopamine levels goes even deeper or steeper, which will help you bounce back those dopamine levels back to normal or baseline levels in a faster and efficient way. This will eventually help you get rid of your procrastination for the time being. Examples of this include taking a cool shower or doing a 10 minutes meditation if you find that painfully difficult, not in the physiological and physical sense, but only in the mental sense. To conclude this video, you can beat procrastination by building and implementing systems and habits that work for you through constant trial and error. And you also need to realize that the things that you've been putting off is stopping you from living the life that you want to live. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're watching until the end, like until right now, it shows that you're really serious about getting over that procrastination of yours. And I hope that this video really helps you, and you can always reach out to me through my socials if you want further help from me. Go chase your wildest dreams, and if you want to support me, you can subscribe, like, comment, share, do whatever. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. How about I'm up with some thumbnail photos? Let's go.